10-minute break. The top 15 go through, and then the top 10 go through into stage 3. And this is stage 3. It is all on the line, and Richard Murray's fallen into the water early.
If he's false started, he's going to be held back. He's going to be last out and get a 5-second penalty at the end. Did he go in early?
He went in early, I think.
Oh, that's a costly false start.
A very, very costly false start. So the Eliminator keeps throwing up different situations. Let's have a look. Oh, he's just lost his balance and slipped.
Ooh.
And that looks to me like a false start.
It's a false start. He's hit the water. He's been punished because he didn't get to dive, so he's already last. So that's going to be very, very difficult. And again, Henry Schoeman, our blue jersey, straight to the front. He's so much quicker when there's less athletes in the water because all those gaps aren't filled. Leo Bergier's out.
All right, so he's just jumped in the water, taking his 10th position. And Richard Murray, we have a scoring system here based on some pretty technical stuff to give them a score out of 10 against their peers for swim, bike and run and transitions. And Richard Murray has an 8.9 on the bike and 8.2 on the run, both great scores, and a 6.1 on the swim, which is nowhere near anyone around him. Hayden Wild also down on the swim with a 5.6. So already he's not the greatest swimmer.
I'm trying to see who that on the far right of the screen here. It looked like Hayden Wild, but I can't quite see, which would be brave for an athlete who's not renowned for a big swim.
As I said, yeah, 5.6 on the swim is one of the lowest swim scores from our top guys.
Or is it Schomburg? It could be Schomburg. I think it is.
I think it is Schomburg, actually.
It's Schomburg, which makes a lot more sense. He's a strong swimmer. You need to be a strong swimmer to have the confidence to move away from the pack and swim in clear water. Henry Schoeman
have a great angle around that boy, but
Johnny Brownley in the red jersey there.
Schoeman's just looking like he's out for a leisurely Sunday swim.
Murray on Wild's feet. Who's that at the back? Can't quite see.
Yeah, difficult to see from that camera angle, but we do know that Henry Schoeman, who's occasionally been so far out in a swim in a race that he's had to stop and have a look that he's going the right way.
Well, it's fast. It's strung out single file, and you see Jonathan Brownley is sitting in 5th. There's a small gap that's opened up. Henry's laying it down here. When it goes single file like that and they go straight to the feet, the pace is on. It's the quickest way to swim. No one's sitting off each other's hips. There's no one bashing each other up. And you allow Henry Schoeman to let his talent do the work, and you just jump on for the ride if you possibly can. But it seems like Johnny Brownley has lost that at the feet of the 4th swimmer. Just off that last can. He has the capabilities of swimming back on, but these gaps matter, especially in this final.
We can confirm that Richard Murray will have a 5-second penalty when he jumps onto the bike, so that will hurt his chances as well. Richard Murray, of course, 3rd overall in the championship on 48 points behind Schoeman on 63, led by Vincent Lewis, who, if you're just joining us, had a flat tyre and was knocked out in the opening stage. So Johnny Brownley just 2 points behind Richard Murray. Will be very much hoping to reverse that 3rd and 4th positions as we head into tomorrow and the final round of Super League. So Schoeman slipping out of the water. Canute comes 2nd. He has a big slip, and therefore Schomburg overtakes him. He's all right though. Mislichuk out in 4th again. Sharp out in 5th again. Brownley in 6th. Hayden Wild in 7th. Here comes Richard Murray. He's going to be held up in just a second.
And Schilling on the back.
Andreas Schilling in 10th position.
Murray's already giving up some gap with the 5-second penalty. He shut himself out of this event, and I'm interested to see right where Jonathan Brownley is, because what we're watching is a race now between Jonathan Brownley and Henry Schoeman. That's what Vincent Louis will be watching, those 2 athletes in particular, and where they finish.
Yeah, not just because obviously there's great athletes all around them, but they're the ones with championship aspirations, there's no doubt. Murray waits. Still he waits. 2, 1, off he goes. So that is going to leave him with a lot of work to do. Jonathan Brownley back in 7th position, 11 seconds off our leader, Henry Schoeman. Andreas Schilling in 8th, and now Murray goes through the timing mat, 26 seconds back on Schoeman. Schoeman has a look around, and he has daylight between him and Ben Canute, a train of 4. Mislichuk in there as well.
And there's Johnny just off the back of Matt Sharp. He needs to close that gap to Ben Canute. Ben Canute will put his head down and chase and chase and chase until he gets onto the back of Henry Schoeman. And Johnny Brownley's in a bit of danger here. He has to move up in this lap.
He knows it too. He's very animated. needs to get himself around Matt Sharp, all 300,000 centimetres of Matt Sharp. Not sure how tall he is. He's up there near the 2 metre mark, though.
You just don't want to be in the group chasing down Ben Canute. You know he's going to, as you can see right there, he puts his head down, he puts in slams it into a big gear and works and works and works. If you're in the group, you know you're going to get a free ride, but Johnny Brownley would be cursing the fact that Ben Canute is in front of him.
Brownley is around Sharp, Schilling, and Murray has managed to get onto the tail. So he's made 5 seconds up already to get onto the tail of Andreas Schilling. But Henry Schoeman, he doesn't want to leave anything to chance as he comes around through transition for the first time. The crowd has built across the course of the day as the temperature has gone down a little bit here in Sentosa Cove.
He's on. Great first lap. A committed first lap. He's put his head down and got straight on the back of that group.
Henry Schoeman, second in the championship. Looking to send it to an incredible day 2 here in Singapore. $100,000 on the line for the championship winner, 20,000 for the round winner, and Henry Schoeman wants both. He's sensing blood in Vince Louis' disappearance from this Eliminator, and he's smelling the money at the end of it, and the title of Super League champion as well.
Hayden Wild's the one who's going to chase. We know he's technically very, very astute on the bike, coming from the Xterra off-road background. He's been the standout, as we said earlier, at the series. And I do think he believes he can beat these guys and win a round of Super League.
Could this be it? You just saw him saying, come with me there to Tyler Mislachuk. Go around me, help me out. There's discussion. They need to work together, Mislachuk and Wild now, because Canute's just a little bit back. He comes back up on Schomburg, Brownley, Sharp. So, can they work together to bring themselves up to Henry Schoeman?
The fact that Johnny's not chasing says 2 things to me. He's either resting up from the chase to get onto that group, or he believes there's enough horsepower within the next 2 laps and there's enough momentum and commitment from this group that they're going to close that gap to Henry Schoeman, because Johnny knows there's a lot on the line. Schoeman is very, very comfortable out front, and I think he's sitting back there feeling, okay, I'm watching what's happening. I think they're going to move across. They can close this. I save my legs and I've got a running race.
The gap currently 4 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that.
Now
6 men looking to chase down. Mislachuk now on the front. Wild tucked in behind, and Brownley's moved up a couple of spots. There's the gap as they come down the backside of the course on the inside here on the pavers before they make the S-bend, the Singapore chicane, and out onto the road to loop back around. Schoeman the first through the chicane. There he goes. Cannot believe we haven't had more people come to grief here, but that just shows you the skill of our athletes. Schomburg now heading up.
Sharp's had a great day, hasn't he? A really strong day. One of his best performances in the league. If you're going to have a big day, grand final day's the day to have it.
Exactly.
He's been right there or thereabouts in both in the swim, and in particular in the run, where he's tended to struggle in other series. So he's coming into this season in magnificent form.
Little look behind from Schoeman.
Johnny Brownley's now second wheel. He's starting to sense a little bit of urgency. That gap's not coming back as quickly as he possibly would like. I'm sure he'll give Hayden Wild a little bit of encouragement. Work on the inexperience of Wild. Push, push, push. Close that gap, and he may jump across.
Just a reminder, if Henry Schoeman wins this race and goes on to win the Enduro tomorrow here, the final day of Super League season 2018-19, the title and the $100,000 on offer is almost certainly his. 9 minutes into this final stage, 2 laps to go on the bike.
And here comes Johnny.
And that's exactly right. Johnny Brownley is closing that gap. They've taken 2 seconds out of Schoeman on that last lap. And the question is now, they've shared the work, the train behind Schoeman. What's left in Henry Schoeman's legs if it comes down to a running race with Johnny Brownley, the Commonwealth Games gold medalist and Rio bronze medalist, up against the London bronze medalist and Rio silver medalist?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Geez, they've got some titles between them.
Wow.
It's, at major games, major championships, those two are near at the front or near to the front in every single one. And here we are again in the Eliminator in Sentosa Cove in Singapore. And it's all going to come down to a massive run.
So in our Super League scoring system, out of 10, Henry Schoeman has an 8.7 run. Jonathan Brownley has an 8.3 run.
Ooh.
But Henry Schoeman has done more work on the bike, you'd think. The gap has now closed completely, and sitting on the wheel is Johnny Brownley. Don't forget, behind them is 5 men who know how to win races as well.
Yeah.
Henry in the blue because he's the swim leader. Johnny in the red because he's the run leader, having had the fastest run splits in Mallorca. 1 lap to go on the bike. They cross the dismount line. For the last time on the bike, Canute's dropped down back with Schomburg and Sharp.
I think those boys there are counting heads. I think right now there's a group up front, and I see Hayden Wild really believing he can mix it with these two.
Ben Canute now takes the lead, so he's gone up 6 places.
Tyler Mislachok could back himself here as well. He's been running well. He's been as close or this close to the front many times. He won one of the... Well, he just got out-sprinted by Hayden Wild in Malta. He likes his shorter, aggressive formats. He's been very, very calm through the first 2 stages. He's done minimal work, did 1 lap here on the bike. His legs will be fresh.
This is shaping up for a great running race. We'll see who's got the legs on day 1. It's the Singapore Super League Triathlon Grand Final. All roads have led to this. Very early on in the 2019 season, but the culmination of our Super League season, and what a race this is turning out to be. Ben Canute on the front. Johnny Brownlee tucked in behind, and now Schoeman gets a chance to just tuck in behind the larger frame of Brownlee. And think about the fact he's got 1,800 metres on the run to win this one. Wild now comes up.
And Henry's very, very slick in transition. I'm surprised he's drifted back to 3rd wheel. He's watching Johnny Brownlee. Hayden Wild on the outside, trying to get in fast. And look at that, Henry Schoeman slid up, getting to transition first and out. Seconds count, and Johnny Brownlee is now 6th wheel. Look at that.
How quickly things can change. Again, Hayden Wild, as he did off the bike in stage 2, leads into transition for the final leg. A group of very high quality triathletes, the best you'll find. Wild's bike has come out of its mount. We'll have to put that back in.
Schomburg first out. Henry's beaten Johnny out.
Tough transition for Ben Canute.
And Richard Murray's had a magnificent bike ride. If he lose that 5 seconds, if he lasts out the water, 5 seconds lost, and still be there.
We know his transition's good, we know his run's good.
Fantastic transition.
But it's going to have to be absolutely superb. Schoeman leads from Hayden Wild. Henry Schoeman, 27 years of age. Hayden Wild gives away so many years in terms of experience. He's just 21. Schomburg, Brownlee, Sharp, Mislachuk, Canute, who had a tough transition. And he's going to have to work his way back. But the run on Henry Schoeman, we've seen him in 2018 lead all 3 legs and win. He did it in Abu Dhabi, just the 2nd ever in WTS racing to lead wire to wire. Of course, a win on the Gold Coast to start off his 2018 in the Commonwealth Games.
We'll see how good Johnny's feeling right now. He's got a little gap. If he closes it in this first loop, I think he's going to back himself. He looks more comfortable than he has in some of the previous league races. He's run straight on the back of them. And I think he would back himself. I do think he'd back himself with a long run out against Henry Schoeman. It'll be very, very interesting. We've yet to see it. It's usually been a Vincent Louis, Henry Schoeman show, with Johnny being out the back or missing a group. Now it's going to come down to this.
There's the World Triathlon champ, Andre Schilling, from 2018. Had some great results in 2018, 5th in Montreal in the WTS. Led a breakaway there, and he's been there or thereabouts. Qualified through Poznan to get here.
Tyler Mislachok, 4 of them. It's Matt Sharp sitting in 5th. The gap's starting to open to him. Schomburg's out.
But you could probably pick your winner from these 4. I don't hate...
Hayden Wild looks good.
Wild looks good.
I can't pick him. You might.
No, I've got no idea.
We've still got a lap to go.
Absolutely no idea who's going to win this one. I liked Hayden Wild. He's had more race experience from 2019. Some of these guys coming in on fresh legs. We know Richard Murray, for example, hasn't had a race yet. Hayden's had a couple back in New Zealand, and they've been very, very good. Will that hold him in good stead as he tries to hold off Olympic and Commonwealth Games medalists right behind him? He's in exalted company, Hayden Wild.
And let's face it, in a bunch sprint, in a sprint finish in Super League racing, he's yet to be beaten. He might have been sprinting for the win, but he's outkicked Johnny Brownley. He's outkicked Mario Mola. He's outkicked Tyler Mislachok. So he's yet to do it for a run at the win because it's usually been shut down by Vincent Louis. But right now, this could be the biggest win of his career if he could shut out the current Commonwealth Games gold medalist, and both of them in Johnny Brownlee and Henry Schoeman in the blue jersey there with Olympic medals.
Well, Henry Schoeman's got enough composure to reach for the water bottle, but he looks comfortable.
Oh, Mislachok. We've yet to see Tyler this close to the front. He will get more and more confident. He looks very comfortable too.
He does. Johnny also looks comfortable. The only one who's showing the stress of it, I suppose, at the front there is Hayden Wild. So, Schoeman, Wild, Brownlee and Mislachuk. Also Sharp's tacked on there as well. He hasn't been broken yet, so another big boost for Matt Sharp, whose partner Kirsten Casper is watching on at home and no doubt enjoying this showdown. She's second overall in the women's standings, unfortunately not here, but she'll be loving the work done by the Canadian Matt Sharp.
Johnny Brownlee's having a long run at it from home, a long, long way out, and Henry Schoeman has slid back to fourth and does not look comfortable. And this all plays well for Vincent Louis. Vincent Lewis, if he can keep Henry Schoeman in fourth here, and Johnny looks fantastic, and Johnny Brownlee can win this championship, and he's running like he knows that.
Well, he can certainly take third from Richard Murray if he wins this one going into tomorrow, but right now Mislachuk's the only one staying. This reminds me very much of Jersey. The similar thing happened, and it was Vince Lewis who kicked and dropped Henry Schoeman, who attacked early, but this time it's Brownlee attacking early. Mislachuk goes with him. A little gap back now to Schoeman. It looks like Sharp will run to a very creditable fifth, but it's really on at the front now between Johnny Brownlee and Tyler Mislachuk.
Wow, Tyler Mislachuk. And he is sticking to Johnny Brownlee. And the famous kick of the Olympic champion from Sydney, Simon Whitfield, who invented the kick out of Canada, used to run exactly like this, off the shoulder of the leader and just decimate with a kick, and it looks very, very familiar. Tyler Mislachuk, to me, has a very similar running style to Simon Whitfield.
This will no doubt be the biggest moment of Tyler Mislachuk's career if he manages to outsprint Johnny Brownlee, who looks in excellent form. He's had worries training in Yorkshire about the heat, but it certainly seems to not have worried him. Schoeman has managed to move himself into third position, which is going to be very important in terms of the points race. We can talk about that in the wash-up as he overtakes Hayden Wild, who's trying to stick with him. And Hayden Wild's a very slight guy. It just shows you exactly how finely cut Henry Schoeman is. But right now it's Brownlee who finds another gear again, and it looks like Mislachuk's not going to be able to quite go with him, and instead it is going to be Jonathan Brownlee. He's not racing Abu Dhabi in a couple of weeks. He's been focused on this one. He had the toughest career year so far. He's a championship contender, and he's going to announce himself championship-wise. It's a big, big win for Jonathan Brownlee, who can sense potentially a championship win. So animated. Johnny Brownlee wins from Tyler Mislachuk, who gave everything.
Hayden Wild has beaten Henry Schoeman.
He has, so that throws things further into disarray. Schoeman can't do the job. He had one hand on the championship. Matt Sharp very happy with fifth, and Ben Canute holds off Jonas Schomburg for sixth. But the ramifications of that race.
Johnny Brownlee is back.
Back in a big way. Back. 2018 was a horror for Johnny Brownlee. But he starts 2019 with a bang. Let's hear from him right now.
Johnny, you have just made a lot of British fans back home very happy. How does that feel?
Oh, it's about time. It's been a long time since I won a race, so it's about time. It feels good. It was hard work. I made it hard for myself early in the rounds by making stupid mistakes, but yeah, and at the end everyone got tired quicker than I did, so I don't think anyone's fresh at the end, but yeah, so happy to win again. It's been a long time.
We're really happy too. Listen, after the first race you said, I'm tired, I'm just warming into it. You certainly did. You may feel tired, but you look great now.
I've finally been able to do some training. I finally got like 6 or 7 weeks in, and it makes a difference, and I enjoyed that. It was hard racing. And when I kicked, I thought, oh well, there's just one guy left, and I kicked again, and I thought, oh, I'm on my own, this is good, I've not had this for a long time. But no, I really enjoyed that. It was hot, it was hard, and I can race in the heat.
You've done yourself a whole lot of good in terms of moving up the rankings. What are your thoughts ahead quickly of the race tomorrow?
Oh yeah, tomorrow. I don't really care at the moment. I'm happy to win that race, and Show's got the form, so I'll come back. Honestly, I think Vince is going to be the guy to beat tomorrow. He's going to be angry, he's going to be fresh, but I'm pleased to finally win something.
Okay, great stuff. We're very happy for you, Johnny. Well done.
Thank you.
Johnny Brownley with a famous victory, and look how much it means to him. It's been a long time since he's had a win by his own admission. He's had injury problems, he's had stomach problems, kept him out of races, and now he gets a win to open 2019. 2018 is in the rearview mirror for Johnny Brownley. Congratulations to him. Richard Murray did admirably well, considering just how tough it has been for him with his ankle, etc. Jonathan Brownley wins 15 seconds quicker than stage 2 it was. Tyler Mislachuk with a great effort to finish 3 seconds back. Hayden Wild 8 seconds back. Schumann, who every chance he's going to win the title tomorrow. He finishes 4th. Matt Sharp, Ben Canute, Jonas Schomburg, Andreas Schilling, and Richard Murray rounds out our top 9. And that was a fantastic race in the Eliminator. Let's have a look back at stage 3. Richard Murray went into the water early. He got a 5-second penalty for that. He also didn't get the chance to dive in. Leo Berger finishes 10th. He got in the water, but his feet were all cut up, so he didn't race. Plenty of slipping as they came up into transition. Henry Schumann looked very comfortable early on, but he was made to do a lot of work out there on his own, as it is a little bit blustery here as well, and it showed in the end. He got caught up with a lap or so to go, and Johnny Brownley hit the front of the bike. Ben Canute made his move to the front. He'd have a tough transition, and he'd never really make it back from there. The run pace was strong, and in the end, Johnny Brownley found a kick halfway through to drop everyone but Tyler Mislachuk, and a kick down the back straight to do the same on Tyler, which was a great effort in the end.